How'd it go? How'd you think?
I thought it went good. I mean, I like that it didn't seem like there were any fights. I wasn't over there the whole time, so that was the first goal. We don't want to have to kick anyone out today, so at least we all got to practice with everyone, didn't send anyone home early. It's always different when you go against a different team because there's different types of practices, different tempos, and I think it took us a little bit to get used to that, but I was happy overall.
What did you think about the pass blocking style? I mean, they got a pretty nice defensive line, but
yeah.
Were you a little bothered by your pass blocking?
I mean, I never want to give up some sacks, and they're in 2 minute. We gave up a couple, which is always tough in 2 minute, but I mean, I always want to challenge our guys to get better. Wish we did a little bit better today, but nothing to overreact about. I mean, we were missing a couple guys too, but yeah, we also got to get rid of the ball when that happens too.
Kyle, Eric Lemkes with the Culver City Observer. What are your thoughts on Brandon Staley and in which ways is this team taking on his identity?
I mean, I just know Brandon going against him last year, and he's a hell of a coach. I mean, the scheme that he has, the scheme that he runs, how detailed it is, how he gets those players to play for him. I mean, it was evident on tape last year. You could see it already today. You guys got a hell of a coach.
What does it do for the O-line to have Joe Staley out there?
We'll see as we get going forward. Yesterday was his first day working, and it was our off day, and he was so amped up. He was kind of annoying us all day. I wanted to do more. But I'm pumped that he's here. I mean, he's passionate about football. He loves football. It'll be nice to have him in the room. You know, he's never been on this side before, so he's probably going to be a little sensitive, realizing how we're not always nice what we say behind closed doors. But we'll see how he does, and I know he'll be opinionated, and I'm just pumped to have him. Hopefully he enjoys it.
Kyle, what was going on with you at 44? A couple times.
Oh, he was excited. Sometimes they get excited. I told him to save his energy a little bit, and then there was just one tackle, so he was actually real cool. I went up and said, we're not taking guys to the ground, and he didn't mean to, and it was cool after that.
Kyle, what is Joe's role? How long will it be around? What is
he's just going to be here this week. You know, he lives pretty close to here, so he just wanted to come up for the week and, you know, trying to see what coaching's about. You know, I know he's got a passion for it, and I know he wants to be around football. But he wants to decide if he wants to probably work this many hours before he just jumps into it with his family. So he'll get a look at that this week, and we'll see what he thinks.
How much does it help your offense to go up against the Chargers defense?
It helps a ton. I mean, first of all, some of the players they got some real talent over there, and anytime you can go against different things that you've been going against helps a ton. I mean, we've been against a 4-down front. Now we had every front possible today, some different styles, some different techniques, and you get used to blocking one type of technique, and it takes a while to get ready for the others. And you try to do that on a Wednesday, Thursday practice with cards and stuff to simulate, which sometimes takes till the second quarter to get used to. So to be able to scrimmage against guys and be able to do it here for 2 days is very valuable.
You mentioned Trey was under some pressure. What did you think of Trey today?
I'll see more about the tape. You know, I challenge the O-line big time, but I'm also going to challenge him to get rid of the ball. And you got to know where those outlets are and how to get rid of it. And he didn't have the most time in everything, but it's kind of our standard with things on how fast you got to play and how, not just athletically, but your mind. I mean, you can't hesitate. You got to get rid of it because you get a sack in 2 minutes. Look at the percentages; it's pretty much over. And there's not going to be a lot of great protection there. So it's good to get him some of this experience without it being in a game. So we're just going to keep challenging him hard, and can't wait to watch the tape here in about an hour with him.
Has that been one of your major coaching
development of number 11?
Brandon?
Yeah.
I think he's coming along. I mean, we've challenged him hard like we do like everyone on our team. What's been nice about him, he's had some good days, some bad days, and he keeps coming back the next day harder. I mean, he's really he's been up for the challenge. He's been working his butt off. The way he's blocking, the way he's working, regardless of how he does each day, if he keeps that attitude, he'll only get better.
Kyle, what's the update on Trent Williams?
Trent, he was going to go this day. He had a little swelling in his knee, so we drained it out. He's going to take this week off, and hopefully he'll be ready for the Oakland week.
Any long-term concerns?
No, since we think he'll be ready for the Oakland week, hopefully that won't be too long.
Jimmy Garoppolo hit Travis Benjamin on the long pass, missed a couple other ones. Has he been working on the deep ball, and how's it coming along?
I think we've had a little more opportunities in this camp. I mean, he works on everything, so I'm not saying we've overdone that. We've worked on that as much as anything else. Had a couple different coverages today, which gave us a couple opportunities. He let that one rip, two to rip to Travis. The third one, he waited a little too long, which then they're all waiting down there. You just got to probably check it down and force that one a little bit, but I was happy with how it looked today.
Kyle, you said early in camp, we're going to rule out if Trey played really, really well, that he could start in week 1. Is he on that type of trajectory at this point? I mean, do you kind of see where they started in camp? Are they kind of at that place right now?
I'll answer what I think you're trying to ask. they're competing their ass off. They're doing a good job. I mean, it's not about one guy versus the other guy. It's about how good can Trey be, how good can Jimmy be. I think both of them, and when you go through camp, you go through games, you go through practices, I mean, it's up and down throughout the whole thing. So that's why I don't sit and who's ahead of the other, what's going on after each practice. I mean, they both bring different elements to our team. Both of them, I believe, can play at a high level, and I'm trying to see which one does that the best for us.
Can you see Trey getting more reps with the ones, or is it going to be same?
No, I'd like him to get some reps with the ones eventually. We kind of reevaluate that after each practice, and not just so he can get with our ones, but also so he can go against some the one defense and stuff. So we'll see if we do some of that tomorrow. If I do, it'd be more trying to get him some reps versus Bosa and Derwin and some of those other guys too, because it's definitely a difference.
What has to happen before we're ready to put him out there with the ones?
Just that we think gives us the best chance to win.
What'd you see from Derwin today?
Just the same thing you see from every time that he's out there. He's the man. He is as good as it gets. Coming out of college, we loved him. I just love how he carries himself. You know how talented he is, but just talking to the guy and the way he acts out there, you can tell he's a special guy, and as a person and as a talent. So you guys got a good one there.
I know
Kyle,
you
what
don't,
have you
you don't
seen out
game.
of Mike McGlinchey? What more in terms of pass blocking do you need to see out of him?
Just same thing I've kind of said about each player. I mean, it's up and down throughout all camp. I know it was nice for him to get some reps for some real good guys today. I'll see when I see the tape, but I just want him to keep getting better.
I know you don't game plan obviously for practice, but with Joey Bosa out there in Derwin James, do you almost have to acknowledge that, or do you have to scheme for that a little bit?
Not really. I mean, if they were, if they really were going to hit the quarterback and stuff, then we would. But they just run by him, and we know it's a sack, so we're not going to go out of our way to just handle that. We're trying to get the work in with our players and stuff, and that's the biggest thing with all this stuff. It's fun to go against other guys. Guys want to get amped up and make it a big deal, which I get that it is, but the main thing is getting better throughout all this. So, like, everything that we decide on is how to put these guys in a position that allows them to learn something, whether it's good or bad, so they're better in the season. It's not really about winning the day.
Bosa hit the ball once, and he was yelling. Was he not supposed to hit the ball?
No, he's not. Our Bosa didn't hit their ball today, so I don't know why he did that.
Do you want to glance with the starters before you decide which quarterback gives you the best chance to win?
I mean, I don't have to decide that. I don't need that to make that decision. But, yeah, I'd like to get him some reps with the starters, not just to be with those guys, but you go get our ones go versus ones, and you get a little more challenging looks going versus the one defense.
Why was the Chargers a good team to kind of do the joint practice with?
I mean, you don't want to do someone you definitely don't want to do in your division. I'd rather avoid the NFC. You want to do someone on the other side, and I'd love to do someone that is different than what you practice against every day. And they have a really good scheme that's kind of the opposite of ours, so I think it really helps in that way.
Trey lapsed a little bit with his footwork, and is that common in someone's first camp? And how did he do today in that regard?
Yeah, he did better. But yeah, it's extremely common. I mean, kind of watch all the rookie quarterbacks around the league, and when they get in there, it's their first NFL games, and just like a lot of rookie every position, they get in there and they resort back to surviving and what they've done their whole career, and sometimes that's a little different at the NFL level. You can't just go out there and play. You got to be exact on your details, exact on your techniques, and the more you can do that and the more you make it automatic, then you don't lose it in the heat of battle. But that's kind of the story for all rookies. What's that? You guys know he's been in and out through most of this, and he's had some knee soreness. He's got some knee tendonitis. So instead of going, one day off and having to take 3 off, we just made the decision a couple days ago. We're going to shut him down for the week, make sure he gets at least 7 days off. And I think it was 5 days before that, so it's going to be a little over 10 days. And hopefully when we go Oakland week, that'll be the right answer and help him be a little bit better, and hopefully he can come out then.
Did Nick Bosa make any plea to try to practice against familiar guys?
No, I know how bad he wants to, but Nick is very thorough and thought out on this whole plan, and every day Nick's got to hold himself back and everything, and we're doing it too. But we got a plan, and Nick's sticking to it, and it's smart that he is.
Is Hurt's knee tendonitis part of from his ACL injury?
I believe so. I'm not a doctor, but not usually.
You're making cuts as this is happening. How difficult is it when you have injured players? Might be on the board.
No, it's a huge challenge, and that's what I was trying to explain a couple weeks ago. But that's the hard thing of the NFL. I mean, Mosley tweaked his hamstring, so he's out for a week. Would have loved to kept 4 quarterbacks and kept Josh Rosen, but when you got to cut 5 guys this year, so much earlier, and then you lose 1 corner, you don't have enough guys to practice, so sometimes you can't keep a 4th quarterback, and it goes that way for everything. Like, it's injured guys, especially guys who can play. guys that have been like that, like D Ford, guys like Jalen. We all know how good they can be and how much they can help us. But you got to play all that in account because the 53 is tough, and you want to make sure you don't lose other players that can help you throughout the year.
Well, it was so much discussion on our end about the quarterback stuff. Are you looking at this like, I mean, it seems like you're pretty at ease and you're pretty relaxed, not stressed about making this decision. Is this for you just a really good situation to be in terms of having two guys that you think could potentially win games?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I can't get caught up in everything else. I get why it's fun, and that's a decision that everyone's interested in. But I can't make it about that. I'm just really excited that, I think we've always had a quarterback like Jimmy who can give you the chance to win a Super Bowl. And when he hasn't been in, we've really struggled. And I also think we drafted a guy who can get there also, which, yeah, that makes me very excited. However that plays out, whatever gives us the best chance to win is definitely what I'm trying to focus on. But I'm also excited that I think we have some depth there, too, to where, regardless of what happens, I know you have other answers.
We'll take three more.
Kyle, at this point, you think you're going to keep three quarterbacks?
I mean, I would like to. I mean, we got three guys who can play, so I would definitely like to. But that's the tough thing about the 53. Where do you go extra at another position? How do you go under? Are you going to lose guys? What's the practice squad? But if it was as simple as, do we have three quarterbacks who can help us? Then yes, we will.
How does Justin Barrett look during training camp?
Jason?
Jason.
Sorry, I do that all the time too. Not with him, but he's been great. I love JV. I'm sure he's thought of very highly here too. The way he carries himself. What I was talking about, Derwin. You can see special guys on the field and how talented they are, but you also see what's special when you get around someone like that and know how they are. And he's a bulldog. He's competitive as can be. He's as tough a guy as we have out there, and I think one of the better leaders on this team, even though you don't hear him talk all the time.
Juwan Jennings got a touchdown here in the end zone. How can a big receiver like that help you guys in high leverage situations, like in the red zone or third?
When he plays big, which he does, so he does both, and that's why Juwan's giving himself a chance to make this team and giving himself a chance to help us. Because yes, he does have some size, but it's also his mindset too. I mean, he's aggressive in everything he does. He comes off the ball as hard as anyone. He attacks that ball. There's no difference between a run play and a pass play for him, and that mentality is why he was successful in college, and that's why he's trying to prove himself in the league the same way.
Do you highlight that in film? So your players, like the way he plays?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I highlight stuff every single morning to the team. So whoever gives me the most stuff and examples, I always show. But Juwan's he's had a lot of clips here in the last few days.
Will you do Garoppolo and the starters throughout the first quarter?
I don't know yet, and I mean that. How much you get off these practices, I never decide before a scrimmage because I want to see what they got here today. I really want to have a big one tomorrow, and then I evaluate where our guys are, how hard the workload was, and see if the game is worth it for them and who needs to do it.
Last one right here, guys.
You have to guard in the second round, kind of indirect message to your previous guard, Brunskill. How did he did you after talking to him and say, hey, obviously you're going to be competing, or how has he just responded to that situation?
I don't know. I never talked to him about it because I didn't look at it like that. We're just drafting him to replace Brunskill. I thought Brunskill played at a high level last year, whether it was at guard, whether it was at center. I thought he played at a high level for us at tackle the year before when we had some guys go down. We want to make sure we have our 5 best players out there. And when you got some versatility of that, I don't think anyone looks at it as just a replacement to them. We'll see how it all shakes up, but it was tough for Banks getting injured, missing these 2 weeks. He's a guy we believe in a lot, but he needs to play too. And we got some other guys with a lot more experience, but hopefully we'll get him back, and at least in this last week or so of preseason, and give him a chance to compete a little bit.
And what is his?
Shoulder. Yeah, shoulder something. I don't get into the details. Probably a bad bruise. I think it's a minor AC sprain. Yeah. The reason I don't say that stuff is because I don't ask as hard. It's 1 to 2 weeks. So 1 to 2 weeks. Bruise, AC sprain. I'm not a doctor. Exactly.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.